Hi and welcome to the Microsoft 365 webinar. This is an interesting product. My name is Tom Marwood and today I should just be giving you a brief overview of what it is. It's been around for a while under a different name. They relaunched it during Microsoft Inspire this year. There is a lot of talk about it, so I'm not going to go into how it is managed and the look at the panel, because that's kind of one of the main differences that it was between its predecessor that was launched last year. The only real change between that one, which is Secure Productive Enterprise, and this is the management of it. So it's a very different panel, and there is an extra SKU that comes with this as well. So just to give you an idea of what's going to be covered very briefly, what it is, products included, and the benefits of selling it in the ways that you can sell it. All right, so it's a very brief introduction, but as long as you know what's in each product, it's kind of understanding what each product gives, and once you know that, then it's kind of a good way of going about it from there on. All right. So this is Microsoft's official slogan of what it is. Okay. In short, it used to be a long time ago known as the Enterprise Cloud Suite. It was then gutted and relaunched as Secure Productive Enterprise November last year, and then during Inspire it was changed from that and released as Microsoft 365. The main reason behind the change is Microsoft are very good at releasing products and are not advertising what they are. Secure Productive Enterprise was around for around 8 months, and no one really took the ball and ran with it from Microsoft. So it's a lot easier to relaunch it on a big public stage, and that's exactly what they did. It is just a relaunch of Secure Productive Enterprise. If you already know what's in Secure Productive Enterprise, then you're already good to go. It is not a different product to that. All right. The difference in this package compared to the other one is there is a business SKU in this. So there's 3 products instead. There's 3 different offerings instead of 2 different offerings. And that can be covered in a second just to go through what's in each one. All right. But yeah, in short, it gives you Office 365, security through EMS, and Windows 10 Enterprise. That is what it is. All right. But the difference really does come through in the management portal. They have completely revamped it, so when you install normal Office licensing you get given your Office portal, when you get given Microsoft 365 you get given the same type of thing, but it's a fully managed portal where you can manage how often your computers go to sleep when idle. Even through that panel for the entire organization you can set policies, whether or not you're allowed to attach certain encrypted emails, down to the bare bones. It is a fully updated management panel, which is pretty awesome, to be honest, and it was worth kind of the reboot for it. So just to go through what's involved in Microsoft 365, all right, there are 3 different plans. Okay, so Microsoft Enterprise Edition E3 comes with Office E3, EMS E3, and Windows 10 E3. You then got Enterprise Edition E5, which, as you can imagine, comes with the E5 versions of those. And then finally, Microsoft 365 Business, which isn't here yet on date of recording. It's in September. It is in preview at the moment. It's due for release in the next couple of months, but comes with Business Premium, pieces of EMS. It doesn't come with all EMS. It's Active Directory and Intune, and then Windows 10 E3 as well. Okay. So that's what's in each plan. Then you can kind of go into what is in each offering of each plan. Okay. So the first thing to bear in mind is Business Edition. If they want business, then they want business, and that's that. Okay. The real conversation becomes between E3 and E5, because all of the additional features that are in E5 minus one product you can get as attachments to E3. Okay. So as I go through this, E3 comes with Office, Exchange Plan 2, SharePoint Plan 2, Skype Plan 2, you know, RDS functionality, okay, the normal stuff, yep. Office E5, as you may well already know, comes with that E3 stuff already. Then the PBX for Skype, Customer Lockbox, which is like a private piece of storage in the cloud that only you and certain people can access if you want to. Delve, which is now called My Analytics, changing the name makes a difference. Power BI Pro, and Advanced Threat Protection. Okay, so those are the extra pieces that you can get that are bundled in E5 automatically. All of those services you can attach to E3. Okay, So if you have a customer that wants everything that fits into Microsoft 365 E3, but they also want Power BI, that's no problem. You give them Microsoft 365 E3 and attach Power BI on, and it will work out cheaper anyway. So you can do it that way. Don't think that you have this or this. It is E3 or E5 plus all of the attached stuff you can bolt onto E3 if you wanted. All right. The Office 365 one is pretty, self-explanatory. It's been around for quite a while. All of the products are there are pieces of info on every product that you can find. But yeah, the most important bit is don't think that if they want a piece that's in E5, they have to go for the all-up E5 SKU. They don't. They can attach it on. It works out considerably cheaper. And the Microsoft 365 E5 piece only really comes into play when you get into the security and the Windows 10 options. If you want those in an E5 version, then that is when you need to look at the E5 SKU. Okay. So that's the Microsoft stuff. In terms of the enterprise E3 and E5 stuff, EMS E3 comes with Active Directory Premium P1. Okay, so this is a single sign-on, your password reset, your multi-factor authentications, all of that is included in this package. Okay. Secondly, your information protection P1. Okay, so this is email file encryption, also device file encryption if you wanted to. File tracking is there. It's more of a way of securing the movement of files from one place to another. All right. You can also include it a bit more advanced in the P2, but it's not involved in the E3 stuff. That's why you'd be looking at E5 if you wanted that. All right. And then Microsoft Intune, which is your mobile app device management. So anyone who doesn't know what Intune is, it's a way of managing the apps on your company mobile device. So as an example, just as an example, if you wanted to let your employees download Facebook, but at the same time you don't want Facebook to be associated to the camera on the phone, so you can't take pictures and upload them to Facebook, you can set up a rule for that. Okay, that's the type of thing that you can do, and all of this is able to be managed through the new management panel. Okay, for example, there is a tick box that says let users download apps from the Microsoft Store, because people use Microsoft phones, apparently. Yeah, that type of thing, right? And you can manage that, and that's company-wide. So if the user has the box, doesn't have the box ticked, the phone is associated to him, he cannot download stuff through the Microsoft Store. You don't have to do it through the phone anymore. You do it through the management panel, and that is why they bought through Microsoft 365. Okay, so those are the things that are in EMS E3. In terms of EMS E5, Active Directory Premium P2, Information Protection P2. Intune is always the same. Okay, there's only one version of Intune. If you've got Intune, you've got Intune. You can do all the features with it. Active Directory Premium P2 and Information Protection P2 are more like automated services compared to the P1 version. So P1 is manual. You have to set up the rules and stuff. P2 gives you common alerts and analytics based around the common threats or associations that you can get through the authentication and stuff. All right. Information Protection P2 is more intelligent encryption. So if you're writing a document and you have a rule inside Information Protection that says, like, let's say for example you're working on a project and it's called, I don't know, Project X, that exact name. It's not like a Bond film, but that's the first thing that came into my head. So if you type Project X into Word and you're typing away, it will recognize that and it will automatically encrypt that document based on the rules that you've got set. All right, that's the type of thing that Information Protection P2 does. P1, you can set up the rule and you can encrypt files manually. P2, if it detects a common occurrence or it detects something that you have already classed as wording that it needs to be encrypted, it's encrypted. All right. So there's your two differences. This is where it gets a bit more complicated because obviously you cannot bolt Active Directory P2 or Information Protection P2 to the Office plans. Okay, it's either the one on the left or the one on the right. If you need the one on the right, then you have to go for Microsoft 365 E5. Right. Finally, the extra bit inside E5 is Microsoft Cloud App Security. Okay, so this is not available in E3. It's available as an attachment, but P2s aren't available as an attachment. So again, if you need this, you have to get the Microsoft 365 E5 piece. Okay, so it's just like a threat detector. So software as a service apps, it can recognize most common threats, and it's registered the most common ways attackers would get in through certain pieces of software. So it can recognize like when something is happening or something unusual is happening, or for the program usual in this case because it tracks it. It can alert you and say something is happening here, and it can warn you ahead of time. Okay. On to Windows 10. Windows 10 has just been relaunched. It now comes with VDI and virtual desktop access and abilities. So the same rules still apply here. But just so you know, Windows 10, if you're used to Windows 10 or used to the licensing on CSP in Windows 10, have a look at it because it has now changed entirely. Okay, so again, the same stuff. So you've got your enterprise level security for Windows 10. In that, you've got Credential Guard first and foremost. Okay, Device Guard, App Locker Management, and App Virtualization. These are the 4 key points. There are different elements as well. These are the 4 key ones. Just to give you a quick idea of what's in these. So Credential Guard first and foremost is a way of isolating like key system and user secrets, so to speak, against compromises, right? So there is something out there that is called pass the hash hacking. This is like a special hack style, so to speak. I'm not a hacker, I don't care, but just to understand how it works. It allows them to authenticate to a remote server by using like it's known as NTLM or LAN-man hash. The way that it works, so whenever you put in a password, you obviously know what your password is, okay? But the way the password is sent over to a server is by a set amount of data, like an algorithm that's sent over. It's not the actual password that goes from point A to point B, all right? So once the attacker has his username in place, he will take the hash values of that password that has been sent over to the server and use that instead of your actual password to gain access. So once he has the hash values, he can have access to your account. Easy peasy. For them, not for me. So he doesn't actually need your password. He just needs the hash values for that password to gain access to your device or your username. Okay. Credential Guard protects you at that level as well as the standard password level. Right. That's the long-winded version of what it does. Then you've got Device Guard. So it's kind of like the device level version of advanced threat protection. So it's malware protection around the operating system level rather than the exchange level. Okay, App Locker Management is the device version of Intune. So you can manage apps and they can lock down on the PC device rather than the mobile device. And then App Virtualization goes with App Management. It just makes life a little bit easier to manage and control the apps at that level. Okay, so they kind of go pass together. All right. E5 for Windows 10 is slightly different. So you've got your standard stuff. So you've got your security, which is always the same. 4 extra pieces that go with Windows 10 as general. There is one piece that comes with this, and if your customer wants it, it's the only way of getting it through this platform. You cannot do this as a bolt-on. If they want Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection, you have to buy Microsoft 365 E5 all up. You can buy Windows 10 E5 as a separate SKU to all of this, just on its own if you wanted to. But if they want 365 security and Windows, and that is an important part of it, they need that. Okay, it's the base level. So it's like advanced threat protection is for email. This is the base level to go with Device Guard. So it's threat intelligence for the device and the operating system. Okay, but if they need that, they have to get this SKU entirely. You can't get that as an attachment. It's not even available as a standalone product, Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection. It comes in Windows 10 E5. Okay, so that's kind of what comes in each piece of the 3 products. All right. The Office stuff is simple because it doesn't really matter too much which piece of the product the customer wants for Office. It's okay. The times that really need attention is the security and the Windows 10, because these cannot really be bolted on to either or product. So if they want something specific that's in the E5 version of EMS and Windows 10, they're going to have to go down the E5 route entirely. Whereas if they're happy with the P1s for EMS and the Windows 10 E3s that are on your screen now, then you can get Microsoft 365 E3, and then if they want a couple of bolt-ons for the office, if they want Customer Lockbox and Power BI, you can bolt them on, and that's no problem. Okay. Just to finish it up, it's a very quick webinar because it just gives you an idea. We may be doing a webinar of like the management panel to give you an idea and an in-depth look at the actual panel itself. But as long as you know what's in each product, then that's cool. So ways of transacting. You can get this on CSP, MPSA, or EA. Okay. Obviously CSP, the number one. You can't get this on Open. You can't get this on direct to Microsoft. Okay. Very similar with the way they're going with a lot of SKUs at the minute, such as Skype for Business. Even E5 in general, by the way. E5 you can't get through Open at all anymore. So just be wary. Don't go to your customer saying you can buy Microsoft 365 as a year up charge because it's not on Open. You can buy it on CSP and charge them a year because our prices don't change. You are price protected, but just be wary that you can't do it through the Open model or the direct model. Okay. Obviously, if you have any questions about the way that this SKU has been laid out by Microsoft, or if you want to see the panel, let us know. Again, Business Edition is in preview at the minute. If you want a preview of this, let us know, and I can load a license on for you to have a look around. Again, it's important to note that Business Edition doesn't come with full EMS. It's missing the information protection piece, which is the encryptions. Okay, if they want that, they can't have Business Edition. They can buy information protection as a standalone, but it doesn't tie in with Business Premium. It doesn't link together. So if they want the full encryption or they want the full EMS piece, they have to go E3 or E5. They can't go Business Premium. That said, the Business Edition is a nice addition to the Microsoft list, to be honest. When Secure Productive Enterprise was around, it was either Enterprise or Bust, and there was no Business Edition. So it's nice to be there. It's nice to have it. It's good for smaller companies. But if you want the full security piece, you have to go for one of the enterprise SKUs. Don't go for the Business Edition because it doesn't come with everything you need. Okay, hopefully this has been of use. Obviously, any questions, let me know. We'll be keeping an eye on this because, as we know from Microsoft's standpoint, they do like changing and mixing things around. And if this becomes outdated at any point, we'll do it again. But thanks for listening. Any questions? My email address is on the front of the webinar. Just drop us an email. More than happy to go through this with you and have a call with you and your customer if you want to just go through it. Thank you very much.